I never planned to be a dean. I love being a teacher. I love being a professor. I love the work that I do. I love writing. And I had been chair of my department, which is communication, for 10 years. And I had returned to the faculty as a full professor of communication. I got a call from the provost's office, and the provost met with me and said, "Would you be interested in being dean? I think someone with your abilities would do a good job." And my first reaction was, what does a dean do? Why would I do that? But the more I thought about it, the more I thought, you know what? I study organizations, I study communication, I care about USF as a community. Why didn't I try it? So I became interim dean for a year. And then after that, I was really, really pleased when the faculty came together and said, don't do a search. We like this guy. Let's let him be dean. So that's how I became dean. I think when a person becomes an academic administrator, it's kind of a crossroads in their professional career. And the change in thought that happens, which really is what I love most about the position, is going from focusing on my own professional advancement to figuring out how are there ways that I can help others to be successful. And so really, being a dean is all about creating culture, creating a narrative that is appealing and a vision for people, and then providing people with the tools and resources they need to be successful. So what I love most about being dean is helping others to succeed. When I was a young person, probably my first dream was to do something in the biotech industry. And for years, I dreamed about making artificial parts for bodies. And I think that there was something in the science fiction and in the movies at the time that that interested me in that. And I remember when I was in high school, we could make business cards. And I remember making a business card that had like a picture of an artificial heart, and it had, Eric Eisenberg, biotech engineer. So I went to college with that idea. But pretty quickly I figured out that I was not a laboratory kind of person. I was really more of a people kind of person. And so I changed my major a couple of times. I was a biology major, and then at one point I was a poetry major. For a semester I was a French major, and then I found communication, and communication was my true love, and ever since that's been what I've been focusing on. I don't think very much about what the other path might have been. I think I see myself now as a dean and as a professor fundamentally as a teacher. And my teaching takes many, many different forms. And so I'm teaching when I'm mentoring staff. I'm teaching when I'm mentoring faculty. If I go into the community and I'm speaking, I feel like I'm teaching. So really what I am is a teacher. The other route that I considered for a few years was being a musician. And I was in a number of different bands, and I wrote a lot of music when I was in college. And I thought about it seriously for a couple of years. And then I realized that I thought I would be better served by that being a hobby than it being my vocation. Probably the most usual place that you would find me would be in a movie theater. I love movies. When a movie comes out, I'm always first to go and see it. I've always loved movies, so there's that. If not there, you'd find me either at a market or at a restaurant, because I really, really love food. So if I had to list my top 3 things, it would be music, food, and awesome people. And so that's pretty much where you'd find me. I'd have to say my favorite place in Tampa Bay is probably my house. I live in Lutz, and I back onto a beautiful conservation area. And so I spend a lot of time there. I have a couple of cats. I have one child who's living at home right now, and so it's a pretty great place to be. It's only 20 minutes from campus, but when I get home, I feel like I'm in a very positive space. It's funny, I did not really grow up with pets. My family was not that into pets, but my wife is very involved in pets, so ever since we met, we've had cats. And so we've had a series of cats. Right now I have 2 cats. I have a Russian blue cat named Diesel, and I have a white cat with black mustache and eyebrows named Bodhisattva. And they're wonderful and they love each other and I love spending time with them. They're so beautiful. Bodie and Diesel are a big part of my life. Yeah, well, I love the way they relate to each other. They're brothers, really, and so they're kind of a model, you know, for human relationships, what they could be, you know. And I love the fact that Top of the Palms is a mixture of students and faculty, and anytime I'm up there, I will run into students in my college, but then I'll run into the president and I'll run into the mayor, people from the community. And so I think it's a very nice place for mixing and seeing different people and having a very wide variety of foods. I really appreciate the creativity that they bring to their menu. I was born in Los Angeles, in the Valley. My parents were trying to make a go of it in California, and when I was 3 years old, we moved back to New York City. And so I grew up in New York City, lived there until about 15, 16 years old, and then I went off to college from there in New Jersey. I am very committed to the idea that I don't have a favorite genre of music. I love music so much that I really, really work hard to be open to all kinds of music. And so if you were to see me driving by and wonder what I was listening to on the radio, it could just as easily be Broadway show tunes, gangster rap, experimental hip hop. And I try to listen to very contemporary music as well as old music. A lot of the music I play is more folk rock and that kind of thing, singer-songwriters. So and my son is really into jam bands and electronic music. And so I try to listen to that as well. I would say my favorite exercise is probably yoga. And I do yoga at least once a week because it really is a way of combining exercise with meditation and also sort of reconnecting with myself. But every morning I bike. Sort of that's the more regular thing that I do is I bike about 10 miles every morning, and then on the weekends I do yoga. I think the thing that I would most like students at USF to know about me is that I am not a position or a role, I'm a person, and that whatever struggles they're having personally and whatever challenges or dreams they have, that I was where they were once, and that I can empathize and I truly care about their development. I don't think I'm here to judge them. I don't think I'm here to evaluate them. I think I'm here to connect with them and to support them in their journey. The traditions, honestly, that I like the most are some of the ones that we've created in the college. The fact that we've developed over the last 5 years lecture series where we bring leading intellectuals and faculty into the community to engage with our community in talking about important issues of the day, to me that's a tradition, and I know it's a tradition because the community members count on it now and they know that it's happening, and so I really, really value that exchange with the community. That's probably what's most important to me.